Welcome, everybody, to the first ever French Fox podcast. Thank you for joining us and listening. This is the French Fox Productions team. We are working really hard on some projects that are going to be super cool, but it does take a while to make those higher quality projects. So we thought in the meantime, we could release a fun little hour conversation between all of us talking about whatever has been going on, all that fun stuff, different stuff in like pop culture news, all that, whatever interests us, because we want to get some content to you and we think it would be fun. With that being said, let's just introduce everyone here, just in case you don't know. We got Ben.
What's up, guys?
Dylan.
Hello.
Will.
Hey, guys.
Noah.
Ooh, what's going on, guys?
And I am Augie, and we are the French Fox team. And so we are going to be uploading this. You can listen on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, and SoundCloud. And at the beginning of each show, we're going to be shouting out someone who gives us a 5-star review on iTunes. So if you want to be that person, make it happen. Let's just get to since we last spoke. So since we last spoke, will be every podcast. We'll talk about something that happened since the last podcast in our lives. But since this is the first podcast, let's just hear what's been going on. Any fun stories, guys? Ben?
No, I told you that I didn't have a story, but I did have a question. So, Noah, I wanted to throw a question at you.
Yes.
Because I was thinking about how, like, we've been running into each other and how after high school, you didn't really take a conventional path with, like, what you did, but I just see you so happy and, like, getting to do all the things that you love. So, like, just, like, take us through, like, what's that, like, kind of leap of faith to, like, go against what everyone else is doing, but for what you want to do?
For me, it was like I always knew that I wasn't going to go to like a big university. My plan originally was community college right after high school. But throughout high school, like I just like struggled with schoolwork and all that stuff. And I knew that going straight into college, even if it's community college, while also trying to keep doing like the fun things on the side, I knew that it would struggle. So I knew the best approach for me was to just not go to school and to just take a year to completely focus on what I love doing. And yeah, it was the perfect approach for me. And I think it's stupid that like it's not as much anymore, but like people used to like look down on that and people still do. It's more accepted now, but
I think the stigma is changing.
Yeah, and it's like it sucks because that's the right choice for some people. Like for me, if I were to go to college, I'd just waste a lot of money on it, and I probably would have failed my classes because I would have been focused on like music and performing and stuff. So yeah, it just I knew it was right for me, and it was because I got to have a year of just happiness and not much stress.
That's sick.
Yeah, definitely. I put respect on that because like, yeah, the world is changing, stigmas are changing, but everyone's just got to do what's right for them. And you're a prime example of that. So
Thank you.
Good start. Will, you got anything fun?
Yeah, so actually someone tried to steal my identity earlier this week, like in person.
That can't be true.
No,
What?
it is true. So for those of you who don't know, I golf. This is a true story. And so me and my cousin, he's in town because he's back from college. We go to public golf course, and the way it works is if you're two people, they pair you up with another two random people just so you can play faster.
Is it ever like really awkward?
It can be. Sometimes you play with people who don't talk, and sometimes you meet the guy like we met. I won't say his name.
so it's kind of like when you're getting a haircut, and it's like, is the barber gonna like try and like keep a conversation? With
yeah,
you?
it's
Like,
I'm
or
always
is it gonna be
hoping-
dead silent?
I'm always hoping that like we can just have silence. Like I'm totally fine with that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I feel like so many people are so uncomfortable and like unaccepting of silence. But personally, like I love it. Like when I go to get my haircut, I don't want to speak a word. Just like shampoo my head and like buzz my sides. I really don't need the conversation.
And that's why our next segment is going to be 5 minutes of silence, just to revel in.
Look forward to that. So, anyways, Will, continue.
So this guy is like, we go down to the first tee, which is that's where you start. And we see a man combing his long white hair, and he's kind of hunched over. And I look at my cousin, I'm like, this is going to be interesting. Like, you can just tell, there's some people you meet them and you're like, ugh. And this man This man can't put his tea in the ground. He's an old man, so it's fine. Like, we're doing it for him.
How old? Like, what do I
Okay,
like? I'm
maybe-
picturing, like,
maybe, like-
Dumbledore?
Well, okay. He had the same hair as Dumbledore. He looked like Bernie Sanders. Picture
Okay.
Bernie. I'm golfing with Bernie Sanders.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
And he keeps telling us about these teas, but he doesn't know how to order them because he doesn't have Amazon. He keeps trying to get my cousin's credit card information. And
Like,
we're-
how?
Uh-huh.
Like, what's
like-
your credit card number?
okay, so
or-
well, I don't know how to use Amazon. So what if you did it for me? Like, I can do it on my phone. Like, what's your credit card information? and
This
we're like,
man is a genius.
yeah, okay. So we're like, no, well, why don't we show you how to do it later? And so we're on the 18th hole, which is the last hole, and we're
So how long has it been? Like an hour? 2
no,
hours?
it has been 4 hours with this
Wow.
man.
Wow.
That's a really
Great.
long time.
He's hitting golf balls at
Bernie
us.
Sanders.
I forgot about that part.
What do
He's
you
trying
mean?
to kill us. He's trying to steal our identities and kill us by hitting like. So the way it worked, you hit and then you go into the fairway. So we'd go into the fairway, but he would just stay behind and keep hitting balls at us.
And you're sure this wasn't a YouTube prank?
No.
Like one of those.
I
one
mean,
of those
there's no
guys who,
camera.
Like,
If
okay.
If anyone can search it up just to check.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Stealing
might be going
identity
viral
golf
right
prank.
now. Oh.
Golf course prank. 2018.
But so we get to the last hole, and Griffin, my cousin, orders him the teas finally.
Really?
Yeah, well, yeah, on his phone he does it, and he takes this guy's credit card information and
Okay.
does it, and then he shows him like here, I'm deleting your information, and he emails him the receipt so he knows that he did it. And a couple days later, Griffin gets an email back, and it goes, Griffin, it was being on the golf course with you is a pleasure. I truly enjoyed your company. Why don't you just send me your home address so I can send you a thank you note? And sounds
What?
nice
Can't
enough.
Couldn't he just put the thank you note in the
Right.
email?
Right, and it sounds nice enough, but this is a man who's been trying to get our credit card information for 4 hours.
So what? He's coming over later today.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
I
gave
think
it to
so.
him, right?
He's
Okay.
our so joining us
So
now.
joining us now is the T-Man. Wow, that's really exciting.
I know you didn't
I
think
think
it
that's
was
probably
real
the most exciting thing that's happened
to me
you,
ever.
I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Dylan, what's your story?
Okay, so I'm in algebra 2, and I've never been someone who's particularly good with numbers or math or the sciences just because that's not my strong suit. But I'm passing the class. I'm probably going to be passing the class by the end of the year, and I'm just, I'm getting through it, but it's a little hard. So I'm also someone who's always looking for ways to relate what I'm learning to real life or to make it applicable, because I feel like that actually helps me pay attention if I feel like I'm learning a skill that I'll use. So I am that one person in class who sometimes asks the teacher how is this applicable, and then the teacher gets annoyed at me.
That
But
kid.
yeah.
And every kid in the class gets annoyed.
Are you
at
all-
yeah.
Are you also the kid to be like, are we gonna turn in our homework?
No, that is
Oh
because
my
I never have the
God.
homework. So see, that would not be me. Yeah, that's not something that I do. But anyway, so the other day I actually, much to my surprise and pleasure, I actually got a worksheet in Algebra 2 that said real world application. I think we're
How
doing
exciting.
exponential growth or something. And I was like, oh, this is great. Now I'll finally get to see how I can use this in real life. And so I open up the packet and I look at the first page, and I kid you not, the first words are, the world has ended. And the question is basically, I'm supposed to figure out how fast humanity has died off using exponential growth.
Wouldn't you be dead?
Well, see, yeah, that's what I thought. I don't know why I'd have
Are
to
you
know.
the
It's a
one
hype-
lucky guy?
It's a hypothetical function of
Yes,
the
but
decay of human
see,
life.
if I'm alive, why do
Why
I
would-
have to know how fast people died? I feel like that's not
Yes,
useful.
math does have real world functions. That is not a
That's
good
not
real
one of
world
them.
function.
Yeah.
Noah?
My story.
Yeah.
All right. So my mom.
Okay. I don't know.
Wow, great
It's a
story.
new diss.
Really
It's like
good.
your mom, but my mom instead.
Oh.
No. So for Mother's Day, I went up and I visited my mom. She is backpacking the PCT currently, the Pacific Crest Trail.
What exactly is that?
That is a trail from Mexico to Canada,
Oh,
going through
wow.
California, Oregon, and Washington. It's 2,650 miles,
Oh my god.
and it takes 6 months to hike.
Wow.
So she's doing that with my stepdad currently, and so I hadn't seen her for a while, And thankfully it worked out where she was passing right by LA through Agua Dolce.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Agua Dolce. Someone give me the correct pronunciation.
No one knows it.
Can we have our guy in the booth look that up for us?
Oh yeah, it's a Dolce.
Okay, it's Dolce. All right.
Oh, thank you,
thanks,
Tim.
Steve.
His last name is Tim. His first name is Steve.
Steve Tim.
Steve Tim.
But yeah, so it worked out perfectly where she was passing right by LA on Mother's Day. So on Mother's Day I drove up. It was only like 40 minutes and I got to spend the day with her. But
That's so nice.
It was cool because like these people have been backpacking for like weeks without showering and stuff. So it was
I was
like
about to
a bunch of
ask.
stinky hikers. But they were
Yuck.
all like super cool, and like there were people from like Germany and the Netherlands and like all these people who had come out to do the trail.
Oh, so it's like a group thing. They're like, okay, well, I'll start on this day, and then.
kind of.
Oh, so everyone's just coincidentally.
yeah,
on
I mean,
there
like
the same day.
you wind up starting with people, and then
because people start every day.
yeah, and in my mom's case, like those people that she started with passed them a long time ago.
Oh, gotcha.
So they're slower. Like you go at your own pace, so you don't really stick with the group unless you like organize that group in advance. But yeah, it was really nice seeing her. And then actually, I just saw her yesterday too.
That's
But,
crazy.
yeah.
That's such a big commitment to do that.
That-
Like, I feel like
that-
after
Oh,
the
I
third
know.
day, I would be like, I'm so over this.
The third day, after the first day, I would be dying.
After
it's
4
like 9
hours
miles a day.
After
9
4
to
hours,
12.
I would say I need to be home.
yeah.
Yeah, there's I remember like a while ago I was reading this story online because I used to be quite the Lord of the Rings fan. I went through a phase, and I still appreciate the series, but it's definitely not how it used to be for me. But there was a time where I read this story online about these two dudes that went to New Zealand dressed as hobbits, and they found where they shot the Shire, like the place where the hobbits live, and then they picked like some mountain like really far away, like on the other side of New Zealand that was gonna be Mordor, and they were like, we're gonna
Oh my
hike all the
God.
way across New Zealand, and it took them like a really
they
long
did it?
time. They did it, and in costume the whole time, I believe. But I
In
just like
character?
I hope so. I certainly hope so. I like imagine running into them like what they're just like walking to Mordor. But
That's so
I
weird.
can't imagine like it seems exciting at first. I can't imagine committing that much to just like do like a thing that you made up in your head for like a movie.
When
kinda
when
crazy.
Dylan and I were in 5th grade, that was around when Hunger Games came out, like the first one, and the books were really popular. So we decided we were gonna make our own Hunger Games.
Oh yeah.
Like minus the death, like minus, like there was gonna
That's
be no
probably an
real
important detail.
death.
Are you guys criminals?
But
in
like-
a sense?
Wait, I'm sorry. Do
What?
you mean like you're gonna make a video about that?
No,
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 no, no.
We were gonna make our own like Hunger Games with our
Yeah.
friends, but like not with the killing. Like it would be fun. Like think about
Like
flag
the paintball
football.
version.
Think about like flag football compared to football.
Sure.
It's like it would be
Paintball
the
compared
flag
to warfare.
Hunger Games. So like you would get out like peacefully,
Paintball.
whatever it was, like,
Okay.
and like you would just be like in this area for like a couple days.
Yeah.
So there you
So
have
like
it.
we actually thought that would happen. Like
Augie
when
and
we were
Dylan
in 5th grade.
invented LARPing.
Yeah.
They beat you guys to it in 5th grade.
Basically.
Dylan and I we were quite the what would you call that? We had big
Dynamic duo.
ideas. We had big ideas and low execution. It's kind of like now still.
Oh yeah.
So you're telling me you and a bunch of your friends were gonna go to some isolated place?
We were gonna do it. I like where I lived. I had like
we got so
this, like,
far.
there was a part with like some trees and stuff.
We actually
Oh, so it could be just
Before-
like the movie.
before we organized it at all, we did have people choose their districts and partners, and recruited.
You had
everyone.
24
we actually,
people.
Yeah, we did.
had a picking.
Actually, we had a
of,
queue
like,
too. We had like a waiting list.
A lot
Oh,
of
like
people
the
wanted to do-
draft from Hunger Games. I
Yeah,
don't know what it's
yes,
called
yes,
anymore.
yes.
I read the books. I just don't remember.
Except everyone got picked because everyone wanted to do it.
Oh.
If you didn't get picked, then you would be like
Everyone
they would actually be
volunteered.
sad. Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, and they all thought that it was gonna happen.
So did we.
I did too.
Well,
yeah, that's true.
Like how did it end? Like did,
It just kind of slowly fizzled out, kind of like everything.
Like
It's
our
like I
ba-
wanted to be
Yeah.
like a puppeteer,
Oh yeah, I remember
and then
that.
that just kind of slowly fizzled out.
Yeah, we also had a rock band called Wasian
Yeah,
for
that's
like
true.
2 days. It was
Oh.
really great. We got big success.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can picture the headline for like if that sort of thing actually happened in Hunger Games, like 12 children accidentally kill each other in the forest. Like it it would be a tragedy, but great imaginations for sure.
Thank you so much.
Thank
you. That really means a lot.
Augie, your water bottle is stressing me out because the lid is not on it.
Yeah,
and
I
it
know.
could get knocked over.
Yeah, but I'm being so safe with it.
Are you?
Okay, I'm putting the lid on.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
For those of you who
Um,
can't see, Augie just put the lid on his.
So
water bottle.
good
Noah, I know
riddance,
this.
too.
I know this story didn't happen in the past week, but I just want you to explain the full story behind you, Noah Davis, meeting Noah Davis. I just think I kind of want to hear the background on
Yeah.
this.
All right. So, a while ago, like a long time ago, before. Okay, wait. Just to clarify, Noah Davis is a contestant who was on American Idol.
Not this one that's speaking.
Yeah, not me. I'm a different Noah Davis. But so anyway, so like a year ago or like many years ago or whatever, I looked up other Noah Davises on Instagram and Twitter just to like see who had which usernames, like who had Noah Davis at Noah Davis. They suck. But I found this Noah Davis. This is so confusing, but I found the American Idol Noah Davis. This was before he was on American Idol. So I just like kind of skimmed through his profile to see what he was up to, and I was like, he's not a threat to me. He's not going to become famous anytime soon.
Little
I
did
still
he
got a
know.
chance. Yeah. Then it turns out, so then I flash forward to like a couple months ago or something like that. I don't even know. And I start getting all these like tweets at me, like my friends tag me in tweets or like in Facebook posts of this kid who went viral on American Idol, Noah Davis. And basically he went viral. He like said, "Hi, I'm Noah Davis. I'm 18. I'm from Royal, Arkansas." And then Luke Bryan was like, "Oh my God, you're 18. Wow." And then Noah Davis was like, "Oh my God, wig." And then the LGBT community on Twitter just like blew up, and he was a gay icon. So he like went viral and like became a
Like the
meme.
Babadook.
And so I like
Gotcha.
reached out to him because like
You didn't hear about that?
Excuse me,
The
the
Babadook?
Babadook?
That's
Oh,
a-
the Babadook
that's
is
a
a gay
horror
Yeah,
icon.
that was
yeah.
a while ago.
I
Yeah,
did
but-
not understand
That is
that
a-
reference.
I didn't.
That is a horror
The only
movie.
Babadook I know is the horror movie.
It is. It's
That's,
that
no,
one.
that's the
What?
same one. I
For
watched
some-
the movie
Yeah.
with my gay friend, and he was like, "Yes, the Babadook is a gay icon." At the end
Why?
of the movie, and I was like, "How?" And he's like, "He just is," and I was like,
But
"Okay."
that I feel like that'd
Wait,
be offensive.
Is it
to
a
them.
scary movie? Like, is it
Yes.
actually
Yeah.
scary? And then
And he's the evil
And
thing.
He like possesses people. or
There's like
something.
no information on his sexuality in the
No, what?
movie. So,
What?
but I guess you could be a gay icon without being gay, because it's just an icon to
Yes,
the gay
but-
community.
Yeah, exactly.
But why
Okay.
is the
But why?
Babadook a gay icon?
Oh, I
don't
see.
know.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, but I feel like a gay icon should be gay.
Yeah, anyways,
Or at
Babadook
least
is
not
a gay
vicious.
icon. Continue.
But
Let's not
yeah,
be
so Noah
judgmental.
Davis. So then
Similar to the Babadook.
Yeah. So he
in the
went,
sense that they're
You
gay
could draw
icons.
conclusions, yeah.
So he went viral from his American Idol audition. Everyone was tagging me in it. And my friend Gaba actually tagged me in a tweet, and she was like, "Oh my God, is this you? Ha ha ha."
Wait, were they tagging you because like fans were accidentally tagging you rather
No.
than him,
They,
or like
like
people
my
were,
friends were
they were just
tagging me in
tweeting
it
at you
as a
like,
joke.
check
Like,
this
"Oh
guy
my
out."
God, I
Cohen,
didn't
and
realize
was
you were."
like-
like check this guy out.
Yeah,
Got
they
it.
were
I was
like, "I
just
didn't realize you
clarifying.
were on American Idol," like making jokes like that.
Gotcha.
because
I
we
didn't know
had
if
the
you were
same name.
like accidentally getting traffic because of
Gotcha.
it.
Yeah, no. But yeah, so Gaba tweeted me that, and I responded to the tweet by tagging Noah Davis because I had already followed him at that point. And he like followed me back. So I tagged him in a tweet, and I was like, at Noah Davis, whatever. I hope you don't make it to like the finals or whatever, because then I can stop enduring like all these tweets. It was something stupid like that. And then he
That's
responded.
messed
Rude.
up.
And then
good
after
fun. In
that,
good
we like
fun.
You
started.
cursed him too, because he really didn't make
Well, at that point, he had already been eliminated.
it. Wow.
Oh.
So you
And I
were
found
really
out
like
because-
putting the lemon on
No,
the
yeah,
fresh
I
wound.
mean-
Yeah, because
wow.
I knew someone who knew someone who involved in American Idol, and so right after I had tweeted that, he texted me and he was like, "Ooh, he actually gets eliminated," and I was like, "Oh,"
Uh-oh.
but I mean, it was fine. It was
Yeah,
a
I mean
joke.
those shows are tricky, like
Uh-huh.
because as a fan or like someone watching it, like you're actually probably like months behind, and
Yeah.
like people have been eliminated.
Yeah.
Like
and they're pretending like they're
you
still a
have
part
to
of the
sign
competition.
the NDA. I remember
Like,
when
yeah.
it was like one of the earlier
Mighty Men.
one of the earlier American Idol seasons, and there was this guy, this African American guy, and he was like really bad, but for some reason like I was really attached to him, and he made it to like the top 6 or something. He made it really far, and then when he got eliminated, I cried myself. I really cried to
Oh
sleep.
my god.
I was attached. Continue.
But yeah, so then after like I tweeted him that, he like tweeted back like another joke or whatever, and then we started DMing. And then like we added each other on Snapchat, and then like exchanged phone numbers, and now we're like really good friends. And he's moving out here in August, and we're gonna hang out a lot more, I hope.
The hot scoop.
From Arkansas.
And he's gonna be a guest
From
on our
Arkansas,
podcast.
Yeah, no,
Nice.
he should. That would
I'm
be
looking
that'd be
forward
really
to
fun.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah, him and Rob should be in the same episode.
Oh, so true.
But yeah, so he's actually out in LA right now for the American Idol finale, which is
Isn't that kind of
airing
awkward?
tonight. Because he's not on the show anymore. They invite
Yeah.
like I think all the contestants, not all the contestants, but like the memorable ones.
Yeah, once you
And-
get to
Okay.
a certain point.
Yeah.
in
I'm
the
trying
competition.
to find the guy that I was really attached to. He had this one song that was like iconic, but it was really bad. I just can't find it. I don't know. Sorry, guys.
Was it the guy that sang like the CeeLo Green song?
No, I think it was before CeeLo Green was just like
Oh.
popular.
It
Anyways.
was CeeLo Green.
Yeah, Augie,
Oh
I think
my
you and him
God.
actually have a lot in common. The only difference is like I didn't cry when he was bad. You're just
Wait,
Is
I've-
anyone figuring
what?
out what
I
Ben is
have-
saying?
I have
Oh.
messed this up. I'm saying you are both bad. The only difference is no one would cry for you.
Oh, gotcha.
Sorry.
I wanted to bring something up because we all create stuff.
We do?
At least if it's just 240 reviews, will.
I know. I was like, what do I create?
This is kind of recent news. Rick and Morty,
Mm.
very popular.
Mhm.
Would you call it a cult following show, or it just overall
Yeah.
everyone
Toxic-
watches
a
it?
toxic following.
But I feel like it's more than cult. I feel like a majority of people
Yeah.
watch it.
But
it's
I-
just a
Do they
really
follow
popular
it?
show.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's probably the most popular animated adult show, and it just got a.
But I mean, I have a question. Like, I know that it's new and everyone's totally into it. Like, but does it transcend like those Family Guys or like those things like everyone like you know what I mean?
like is it gonna hold
Like,
up?
yeah, but
does
I
it
feel like
transcend
those
that?
ratings have been dwindling.
I'm sure they have, but
So I think right now it's
So
like they're
yeah.
going down and it's going up. So maybe it's past.
Well, it's
I
also
think
Although-
right now Rick and Morty's on top. But I feel like my prediction would be like 20 years.
It doesn't
from now,
have
like
the
people are-
legacy
yeah,
of it.
I
Yeah,
think
it
Family Guy
might.
will have the legacy. South Park will have the legacy.
yeah.
I feel.
But
it. I don't know.
Anyways, really popular show. It's a good show. I like it. And it just got it's done 3 seasons. Each was like 10 episodes or
Mhm,
13 or
like
something.
that.
And just like last week, they announced that it got a 70 episode pickup.
See, my question about that is, does that mean like they got renewed for another season of 70 episodes,
don't
or
think so.
like 70 episodes split up into various?
That's what I've been
seasons?
wondering because
Hmm.
70 episodes that would take over a
Yeah.
year.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe
what
2.
what show has a?
But maybe that's the idea. Maybe they're trying to like kind of be more like South Park in the sense where it's like they're just gonna keep like creating as they're releasing, if that makes sense.
That's true.
I don't know.
But I
It's
still feel
different, though,
like
'cause
South
the
Park
animation is
seasons must have like 26 episodes.
Yeah,
a
they
season
don't
or
have
something.
70.
Well, you know what's
Yeah.
interesting about South Park? I actually watched like a little featurette or something on it. They
They do it the week.
they
of.
do it the week of.
Yeah, it's
so
insane.
so let's say it releases on a Wednesday, they start the Wednesday before because they just released the last episode.
just
They
like our
start,
podcast.
They write it, and they have this thing. Everything is in the same building. So like, floor 2 would be the recording studios. Floor 3 would be like animation. Floor 4 is the writers' room, stuff like that. And that's why they always get the most topical stuff because they just release it. But like, that must be so stressful. But I don't think you could do the same thing with Rick and Morty just because the South Park animation is so much easier. I feel like to make.
Well, everyone thinks that like the South Park animation is actually like paper, but
Was it not? Was it
no.
not at one
No.
point, like in the beginning?
I don't think it ever was.
I think
maybe the very pilot or whatever.
I think
but
something that the Matt and Trey did before that got them a lot of traction was, but I don't think South Park was ever
Mhm.
Okay.
actual like stop motion.
but
paper.
like it's actually like 3D. I'm pretty
Right.
sure 3D. Like they make everything.
oh
yeah,
do
did you know
they?
that? They do.
Wow.
yeah, so it's different from
Nice.
like The Simpsons or Family Guy where they
Yeah.
outsource all the animation to
Mhm.
another country and they make it. they make it all right there. So that's why they can make so many and make them so quickly, so fast. But like, I just want to know, like, I feel like a 70 episode pickup, I feel like that's so much trust, and not to say those people shouldn't be trusted. It's just like, you make that great quality, not only to make the great quality, but also to try to get that next season pickup. And now it's like, they're not going to make more episodes after 70, I hope.
And it's just like why renew it for, like, just renew it for another season, and then if you're already planning on renewing it again, then do it later.
I would say 35 is already too much, but I would say break it up into 35 and 35 at this point. And also, like, my biggest fear about it is, like, I feel like the reason Rick and Morty has been so successful is because they've only done these 3 seasons, and it's like,
and also they worked so hard on them. The seasons were released late because, like, they wanted to make it perfect, and now
and like
episode
each
was
episode
great.
is so memorable.
There
and
were
like
no
probably,
filler episodes.
And I just feel
maybe
like
there were one,
with
but-
70, like, if it ever becomes automatic, like, Rick and Morty's gonna lose its charm, and like the reason that it
Just like the
appeals
other
to
shows have that go like 20 seasons.
Yeah, it. I think the reason that it got so successful and like people just totally embraced it was because it was different, and like they were really taking this twist approach on the adult comic. And I just think that, like, all of a sudden, if you have so much supply, like, the demand is going to go down because quality will go down.
I have a feeling it probably has to do with money. I mean, it definitely has to do with money. I think they don't have to renegotiate the creators' contracts until 70 episodes later. So whatever
the series can blow up and they don't have to pay them more money.
Because I think that's what
Okay.
took them so long. Because I remember there was some controversy like a month or 2 months ago where one of the creators was like responding to a fan tweet that said, "When is season 4 getting announced?" And he was like, "We don't even have our deals yet." And people were like, "What?" It's probably because they were demanding a lot more money than Adult Swim wanted to pay them, because Adult Swim's just small cable, so it's like different. I feel like that's a lot of episodes, and I feel like quality goes down the more safety you have. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Well, I don't think it's even the creators are thinking, oh, we have 60 more episodes to go. Let's make 50 bad ones and then 10. I think it's just like 70 episodes. What do we do? Like,
it's like for a 10 episode season or 13, I'm not sure what they do. It's like, okay, we can make an arc here, but for 70 episodes, I don't know if it is breaking down into seasons. It probably will. I don't think they'll just keep releasing for 2 years.
I'm not an expert on this whatsoever. Like, I don't know the ins and outs, but just off common sense of just a viewer who like watches casually on Netflix, watches casually on HBO, whatever, I really couldn't see it.
Yeah. I mean, they could literally break this 70 episode pickup
season
down into 7 years, hypothetically, if they wanted to, I think. I'm not exactly sure how the contract.
You know what? I was watching my current favorite show, Westworld, on HBO the other day, and it made me think of. It's weird, but there's this new thing happening where I watch cable shows sometimes, like especially comedies. I guess is really all that I watch on the actual TV or on those networks. But I feel like there's a big swing happening where when Netflix or HBO or even Amazon Prime releases a new original show, I'm so much more inclined to believe that that's going to be like really great content. And then the craziest part is I feel like that there's actually like some legitimacy in that. Like, for whatever reason, I feel like Netflix and HBO especially have been creating like this new brand of this just amazing content, and it usually no commercial breaks or anything too, which is a huge difference in storytelling when you don't have to break that up. And it's just it's crazy how it's all swinging all of a sudden.
I totally agree, and I wonder like who's behind that. Like, is it the execs who are like, this is the show that we should pick up? Like, is that the decision, or is it just like, I don't know? They've been on such a roll. Like,
yeah,
I'm much more inclined to watch a Netflix original that just came out than a show that's about to come out on like even ABC or
Yeah.
a
Yeah,
big
definitely. And
network
also
like
with
that.
the rise of the Netflix original, there's also been a deterioration of network TV. Like, I could count on one hand the network television shows that I can sit through.
Well, that comes
Yeah.
with being on network. There's so much more censorship because it's like even less than cable. Cable is more like Netflix, but network shows, it's like you can't do much because that's like everyone gets that TV.
Yeah.
You don't, you're not paying
streaming
for
is
it.
like really taking over. Because
Yeah.
like my dad, who works for like network television, is considering not getting cable. Like,
yeah,
it's
Yeah.
and that's
Yeah.
like literally his job.
And I mean, like, yes, I understand that, but like, I think the execs at the network need to realize, okay, yes, we have that censorship, but they need to take some chances. They need to do something.
You think
because
it's a thing about money. It's the reason why you very rarely see like new movies that are like original and not just like another action movie or things like that. Like they always succeed. Like things like Jordan Peele's Get Out.
Yes.
That was so original, but they took a big risk releasing that because it wasn't the safe option. It wasn't definitely going to make money. It was either not going to make money or make a lot of money, and a lot of places are nervous about doing that because it just goes down to money.
I think there's also the relationship when you're talking about like cable compared to like streaming, and it's like our current generation, like millennials who are becoming adults now, don't want to. Oh, okay, every Monday night at 6, we're gonna watch our favorite show.
They
They're
like
just
it
like,
to be at their leisure.
and it's like,
Yeah.
oh, I have 2 free hours here. Let me watch 4 episodes of Friends or something like that. It's like something.
I mean, it's
want.
just so much more convenient. Everything about it is more convenient. You can skip around. You can choose whatever. Cable or network, you're at the mercy of the channel.
Yeah, and I mean, when quality and convenience is in the same spot, it seems pretty obvious. So, yeah.
I also, as a viewer, I get the impression, and whether or not this is true is actually not really relevant, I think, because the viewer's impression is also very important. And I get the feeling when I'm watching Netflix and HBO that the storytelling is the priority, and I don't get that impression when I'm watching cable shows. And that may just be completely like in my head for whatever reason. But if that's the impression that I'm getting, then that means that cable needs to change something, because then I'm just going to go to the ones where I feel like I'm getting the best story.
yeah.
There's some correlation. I mean, just Netflix seems to be willing to take more risks on things.
Well, it's because with streaming sites, they don't have anything to lose. Like they're not relying on the individual show like
That's
doing
so true.
well.
Yeah.
If
Actually,
it bombs,
never
they
thought
just
about
don't
that.
do another season of it. But like they still got like people
Right,
to buy a
because
subscription
they-
or whatever. Like
right.
they don't really care about. Same with HBO Go.
Because it's not about filling time slots. It's just
Mhm.
about getting people to watch something.
But with
That's-
network, they need
Yeah.
like the people
that
to
makes sense.
like it, and to do
Yeah.
that, they pull the like cheesy
It
shit
needs to be marketable.
sometimes.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
also I feel like with Netflix, I'm not sure how this works like financially, but it's my understanding that when Netflix is funding an original show, they're just kind of pushing money for one season. Whereas, isn't it with cable where like when you're putting on a show, every episode of Big Bang Theory, you're paying Sheldon Cooper. I am blanking on the actor's name. You're paying
Yep.
him.
Jim Parsons.
Yeah, you're
That's
paying
the
him
same
$1 million.
thing. That's the same thing
Okay.
for Netflix.
I know,
They
but
pay-
just what I'm saying.
You
is
pay
that,
actors per episode.
But with Netflix, I just
You
feel
pay
like
everyone
they're
per
probably
episode.
making, when Netflix is looking at the big picture, they're financially much more free than the cable.
Well,
thing.
yeah. I mean, they just network makes the most money. I mean, now it's sort of changing, but network just makes so much money because commercials are such a big thing, and
Mhm.
network everyone can watch. You don't have to pay for network.
But it's kind of crazy when you look at how successful Netflix is when financially they're in a lot of trouble because they're cutting ties with. We just did a study on this. It's crazy in my econ class. They're cutting ties with Disney, which all
Oh,
their
that was
Disney
already
movies.
cut,
I
yeah.
know, but like they
But
haven't
it's
been.
slowly
They're still
dropping
yeah,
titles
yeah.
and stuff. It's because Disney's gonna make their own.
right.
Yeah.
And so Netflix, because they're running out of money, they're just like, hey, they're selling junk bonds, which is essentially, do people want to give us money and maybe we'll pay you back, maybe we won't. And it's like, it's crazy to see such a successful business like kind of low on money and their stock is overvalued at the moment. It's like,
Yeah, on that note, I read something yesterday that blew my mind. I had no idea. Uber has yet to turn a single dollar of profit in their
What?
entire
Really?
I did
Yes.
a documentary on them, and I
why?
didn't even know
Uber
that.
Uber, because of like, it seems like it's the perfect business and they must be making so much money because it's so convenient.
At
All this
least
that works.
$1.
They have not turned profit yet. I think that their initial investment
Wow.
was something like 21 billion, and I'm trying to like bring the facts back, but it's not really working, and it's so convenient for the consumer. But on the business side, a driver with Uber, after gas and all the like expenses and then what they make, they're making about $10 an hour, which is minimum wage in California. So an Uber driver is just making minimum wage, and Uber, the company, I guess, it's so expensive to get Uber in all the new cities. And like, obviously, if you're in New York or LA, you have Uber. But like in the new cities that Uber is expanding to, I guess it's just they're spending way more money than they're making. And it's just crazy to hear that like these successful corporations like Netflix and Uber that are in everyone's everyday lives are really not profiting all that much.
That's really surprising because like Uber has been one of the biggest changes in our lives. Like Uber and Lyft have been such innovators in convenience that no one really thought of or saw coming. And that's really surprising.
I actually made recently a documentary with some people in a film class that I'm in about the safety of ride sharing. And Uber is actually having a problem right now. I guess you could call it a PR problem, where what we discovered is we thought we were going to go in and find out, oh my God, it's so unsafe because, you know, you hear all these stories or you just hear people say like, you know, you'll get kidnapped, or there's always that like scariness about putting yourself in someone else's car. But what we discovered is it's actually very safe, like sometimes statistically even safer than driving yourself because of just accident rates go down and stuff like that.
Really?
So then the problem for Uber is that everybody just has this stigma or this idea that they're going to get like murdered in an Uber, but it's really not grounded like at all.
That's so interesting.
I've always wondered about like the safety for the driver.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so true, because you're just inviting, like, you don't, do you rate, as a driver, do you rate?
Yes.
Not on
Okay.
Lyft, though, I believe.
Oh, really?
I think it's only one. I might
And
be
that
wrong.
way, if you're a bad passenger, people know not to pick you up, because I know it's
Oh, so you, like, accept the ride.
yeah, it's
Gotcha.
definitely an issue. Like when you're picking up people like from the bar, it's like I would be nervous as to their behavior on the way home.
You could pick someone up, like, the passengers are not certified. Like the drivers have to be checked and certified and whatever. The passengers don't. They could just download the app, right?
Yeah,
So,
and there's also there's a whole danger to it that we did discover that is completely that's completely apart from the drivers or the human aspect of it, which is it was discovered there are some ride sharing like cars or vehicles where they're like behind in their checks or they have bad tires or something, and the drivers just weren't even aware. So there's also that danger where you don't know what condition the vehicle is in when you get into it.
Yeah, I mean, I know that like when you're applying to be a driver, like they come check your car, like you have to get your car checked.
Mm-hmm.
But also, I guess like once you become an Uber driver, like you're driving substantially more than you would as just an individual, and then like your car could start to deteriorate.
Yeah.
But at least at the time when you start, your car has to be in
Oh yes, it's just about also
tip-top shape.
like when you're driving your car.
hello.
Then yeah, hello. But when you're driving your car, you know, like even if you like just got in an accident or ran over a nail or something, but when you're getting into an Uber, you don't know what just happened. Like I'm just saying there could at any point have been a scenario where the car something happened with it, and you have no way of knowing that.
Yeah. So just yesterday was the royal wedding. Did anybody watch? Did anyone watch? I saw like the memes.
I've seen pictures.
Yeah.
No.
Drinking tea.
But tying everything in, the one network television show that I do love is Suits, which Meghan Markle starred
That's
on
cable.
for.
That's cable.
That's cable? Oh, USA?
Yeah, it's cable.
Oh, yeah.
So anyways,
nice.
But I still mean that it's not streaming.
Oh, she was on it.
Yeah. And what I'm saying.
So she's not going to
yeah,
be on it anymore?
and I
I'm
just,
guessing?
when I say network television, I
She's
really
the-
just mean anything that's not the
That's
streaming
not
at this
stream-
point.
yeah.
Like something that's
There's a
at
big difference, though.
Yeah.
anything that's on Tuesday, every Tuesday at 8, or on Wednesday, every Wednesday at 7.
Is network like ABC, NBC, Fox, or is that?
Yes, it's
okay.
the big. It's the big like
The big
1
ones.
through
Yeah,
11 or.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Okay,
Yeah.
so then I was
Fox.
But
Fox.
so yeah,
Yeah,
this
my
is
dad
on
works
this
for
is on
network
USA,
TV.
so not exactly network, it's cable. But Suits, really
Yeah.
love that show. Meghan Markle was the star of it. She is obviously leaving to go get married to the prince.
I heard
So
that,
just to break
oh.
it. Oh yes.
Oh, I was just gonna say I heard that on the finale of Suits actually there's like
Prince
a
Harry
wedding or
comes on?
something. No, I just heard that her character also gets married.
Is that true?
I don't watch it, so that's not a spoiler because I have no idea.
Anyways, so that was the royal wedding was yesterday. So I thought, with that, we can play a fun game. There's a quiz that said,
What if we get married?
could you pass as a member of the royal family?
Definitely.
So these are going to be
Yes.
some.
Without a doubt.
I mean, I'm
Indubitably.
So these are going to be.
Indubitably.
These are going to be some questions that I'm going to ask you guys. And
Do we have to answer in a
I
British
think
accent?
yes.
I think we do.
Hello,
Okay.
governor.
I'm just wondering. Do you think?
Oh,
do you
God.
think it should be like? It's going to be like some multiple choice questions about the royal etiquette and stuff.
Very
Do you
well.
all want to be on one team or individual? Who would be the best royal family?
I think how many
member?
questions are there?
I think it's like 5 to 7.
Well, I feel
something
like
that.
it might get a little bit arduous if we go like person to person.
Let's just team up.
All right,
Yeah.
so team up. Okay, so let's see if the French Fox crew could be a member
The
of the
royal
family.
French Fox
So,
crew.
Get it.
Some of us at least.
so the first question is: the Queen invited you over for high tea. What time do you arrive at the palace?
Oh,
Between 12 p.m. and 2 p.m., between 3 p.m. and 5 p.m., or between 5 p.m. and 7 p.m. This is high tea.
the earlier one because it's high.
Well,
like high in the
okay.
day.
I was thinking high tea, like like noon. So I was thinking,
Like high
you
noon?
always arrive early, but
High
the earliest
noon.
option is noon.
See, I would come at like maybe like 11:30 at night. I know that's
well,
not.
that's
an
actually
option.
not an option.
I know,
and you
but
would
that's
be
what I
probably
would
shot
I'd probably
by
just
the
like
guards.
live
I'd be
with her.
shot by the guard.
Oh my god.
It's a trick
God.
question.
Yeah,
If
I-
you're a
I-
member
no
of the
trick.
royal family, you're already in
No.
the castle.
Oh.
I hope
not
it's
a
not a trick
castle.
question like that. It's 3 to 5. That's when high tea is. But logically,
forgot.
I would put 12 to 1.
Okay, so what are we doing? 12 to 2, 3 to 5, or 5 to 7?
12 to 2.
12
to
to
2.
2.
Yeah,
We're all agreeing on 12
Yeah.
to 2.
Yes.
It is 5 to 7
What?
p.m.
Oh, so I was the closest with
High
my
tea.
11:30 p.m.
So high tea, what does this say? Afternoon tea is served between 3 to 5. High tea, I guess, is like dinner.
What is 12 to 2?
Tea with dinner.
I don't think there's one at 12 to 2.
Is that like breakfast for dinner?
What kind of tea is it?
Mm.
Do you know?
I think
English
it can be anything.
breakfast?
High
That's
tea
what I
is-
was gonna
Or
say.
High tea
English
is-
dinner tea at this
Oh,
moment
high
in
tea is
time.
considered a hearty meal. Consists of tea, biscuits, and an entree or two. So
That's
it's a
the
whole
most-
meal.
It's
It's
literally
not
the
just
most
tea.
British thing I've
So
ever
that's
heard.
why it's at 5 because it's
Tea.
dinner.
Biscuits
Okay.
and a hearty
America.
meal.
All right, so
Yeah.
moving on. We're 0 for 1. The Queen met you right at the door. How do you
That's nice
greet
of
her?
I
a
punch her.
Okay, let me.
Oh, sorry. There's
If she's
options.
my grandma, I give her a big old hug.
You can't. Okay. Well, is she your grandma?
Well, am I part of the royal
right.
family?
Well, I guess we're about to. I guess we'll find out. So
Yeah.
do you greet her with a quick handshake,
Yes,
That
definitely.
sounds correct.
That is how you greet a queen.
a simple curtsy where you lower your head and bend at the knees,
That sounds like the right.
or a
Sounds
deep
like-
curtsy held
Oh,
for a few
well,
seconds?
We're all men.
Ooh.
I feel like I've seen people greet the queen, and it's like a little curtsy, but it's not like a.
Yeah, it's not a deep one by any means.
And punching her in the womb is not an option.
Oh my god.
No, no. Okay, we know who's not going to be a member of the royal family.
I would definitely be a member of the royal family. So
I just give my
Right.
grandma a little kiss.
Okay, this isn't okay. So what do we think? Quick handshake, simple curtsy, or
Simple
deep
curtsy.
curtsy?
Simple curtsy.
Are we all
Punch her
agreed?
in
A
the
simple
womb.
no.
Yeah.
A simple curtsy.
Okay, that's not an option. So a simple curtsy.
It's a
Wrong.
deep, long
actually a
one.
deep
Yeah.
curtsy.
No.
That's
It's
what
a
I
deep
said.
curtsy. You can't just be like, you have to pay your respect.
Well,
This is
okay,
the
here's
queen we're
here's what
talking
I'm
about.
thinking. A simple
Yeah,
curtsy
but-
is like 1, 2. Deep curtsy is like 1, 2, 3, 4,
Yeah.
5, 6, 7.
Okay, well now it's yeah.
And,
I
you
mean
know,
that kind of
like,
feels more right. You know,
it's
I
awkward.
I had a dream when I was younger that I met that we were like my family was in like the Buckingham Palace or whatever wherever they live. I don't know.
Well, how did you greet the queen?
Not correctly, so I was sent to jail, and I was like,
Thank
"Mom,
God.
no!" Or it was like you couldn't look her in the eye or something.
Oh my god.
So I and I accidentally did because I was just a little kid. I
Medusa
couldn't
tings.
control it, and it was such a sad
Who
dream.
knew that
and I was
England
like,
was so
I didn't
harsh?
mean to. So then the guards took me away.
Oh my.
Anyways,
Wow.
moving on to the next question. So we are 0 for 2 so far. It's not looking good for our chances of being in the royal family, but maybe we
Well.
can change our luck right here. Everyone is headed into the dining room. In what order do you enter the room to be seated? From oldest to youngest,
Oh jeez.
from closest to the throne to furthest from the throne, or from youngest to oldest?
I the middle one.
No, I.
No, it's Steph.
Oldest first. so
Here's
they
the
can
thing,
sit
oldest-
down.
Wait, can you
Everyone is so
repeat the question?
perplexed. Okay, everyone is heading into the dining room. In what order do you enter the room to be seated?
Okay, I think the thing is, if you're going from the throne, then it's the same as being oldest to youngest. It doesn't make much of a difference, you know?
I mean, but do you know, like when you play Sorry or something, like it says like the youngest starts, or so yeah. I mean, using the logic of like board games, like most board games are going to say youngest to oldest, so maybe it's youngest to oldest to enter that.
Well,
Well,
but I
that's
think
not-
I mean, think about there's this whole thing with respect in the royal family, and if the older you are, I feel like you want to get the oldest, most respected figures to their seats first, so they can like chill while everybody else is still entering and taking their seats. So like, wouldn't you want these really like old people, especially because the royal family they must just be very healthy people. They get very old, so like I feel like you'd want to seat them first so they can like have as little time just standing and waiting to get in as possible, and then the young spry people can come in last.
Okay, but going off of that logic, I think it should go from closest to the throne to furthest from the throne, because let's say
you
they're
have
all.
to ensure the
The most
important
precious
people,
to the least
the
precious.
VIP.
Let's say the queen is walking and she collapses and dies. Well, guess who's right there, ready to take over? Prince Charles. I do know the royal family. I just
And
don't know.
Can you recite them?
All right, so you have the queen. Is she Elizabeth right now?
Okay,
Yeah.
you already don't know. So
You're
moving,
Wow.
No,
moving
I know
on.
that. You have the queen, then you have Charles. Charles married Diana, but then they got divorced. Then Diana got killed. Charles remarried. Charles and Diana had Harry and oh God, what's Harry's brother's name? Maybe I don't know the Henry.
William?
Harry.
Okay,
Oh,
it might be
Harry-
Harry, and then Harry married Kate, right?
No, William.
No,
married Kate.
Harry just
Oh.
William, but then Diana died, and then
What?
so it should.
okay, moving
okay.
on.
I think Diana died
Clearly,
first.
you do not know the royal family
No,
very
I
well.
do.
I mean, more than me, but not more than like someone who
It's
knows
because
just a little bit about
Queen
the royal
Elizabeth
family.
is my grandmom.
No,
my
so far
granny.
not. So far she's
Wow.
not. Okay, so
No.
what do you guys think? Come on.
Closest to the
Who's
throne.
how are you entering?
Do we think that's too extra?
I
Closest
think
to the
that's
throne?
kind of like
I feel like
I think they're
I
never
feel
too
like-
extra.
yeah, it's
Go-
pretty
let's go
extra.
ahead
I
and do
mean,
closest to the throne.
all right.
for
I'm in.
furthest.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll settle.
You're correct.
you got it.
Nice.
So you're
Oh,
now
yeah.
1 for 3. You still have a chance
Wow.
to be
Okay.
part of the-
33%
That's good.
royal.
Yeah, the family enters and is seated in order of precedence, which is closest to the throne and the furthest. All right, so you finally take your seat at the table. How do you sit? Your right leg is crossed over the left leg at the knee. Picture that.
Mm-hmm.
Your
I'm
legs
doing
are
it right now.
your legs are together and your ankles are crossed.
Are they?
Your legs are slightly open and uncrossed.
Okay.
I think they're slightly open.
It's got to be slightly open and
I
What
mean,
about
that's just
What
the
about
ankle one is just uncomfortable.
Is there an option for largely open and wearing no clothes?
Oh, like man spreading?
Yeah,
like
but like
you're
nude
manspreading?
But also
manspreading.
with no
I mean,
pants.
I feel like
maybe in Noah's household, but not,
Yeah.
not the royal.
no, we're
Okay.
in.
Wow.
So what do you guys think?
I think to answer this question, the best thing to do is tell a little story about my first time at high tea with grandmom.
Okay, that's not.
We sat down at the table, and I was sitting with
Wait,
my
what?
my right.
What order? What number were you going into the room? Like,
I was the last one.
okay,
I was
Gotcha.
there's literally their royal pet, and then me, like the little Bow Wow dog.
Bow Wow dog.
Why'd you feel you describe?
continue. I would
Okay.
love to hear
Um,
about this.
And I sat down and I put my left leg over my right knee.
So
and
she's
I
your
got-
grandma.
I got a slap in the face,
Oh.
and she goes,
Wow.
"We sit with our legs."
You weren't taught before
we
you
sit.
went.
No, it was my first high tea. We sit. That's I showed up at 12, and she was like, "What are you doing?" We sit with our legs together and crossed at the ankles. That's what I'll never forget.
I feel like it's right over left. I feel like it's the right. I feel like the cross of the knee, the ankle cross is just uncomfortable.
I know,
Yeah.
but that's the thing. They want to make you uncomfortable because so if anyone dies, you're
What-
ready to assume the throne.
What does being
What is
uncomfortable
this
have to do
logic?
with
The whole
with
okay,
being
you
ready
need,
for the throne?
you need to understand the whole royal family. It's all about being ready for the throne. That's all it is. I'm telling you.
Okay,
Well, I have a
he's our
question.
expert.
I have a question. How much power does the like queen or someone like that have? Like not a lot,
I
right?
feel like not
They're
any
more
at
of a
all.
symbol at this
Yeah.
point.
Yeah,
okay.
And they do a lot of
Well,
charity
like
work.
they used to, but now there's like parliament.
They do. They
Yeah, they have a-
consult Parliament weekly, I believe.
But
so
it'd be
they're like advisory.
But like the queen's not like making all the big
No,
decision.
she
advises the decision.
Right, that's why they
She's
have the
symbolic. For
Isn't
their
it
government.
Brexit happening?
Yeah, but
Breakfast?
if the queen were to
Well,
say
yes,
queen were to say like,
breakfast.
oh, go support this candidate, there'd be a huge amount of support thrown behind a candidate. So they have to stay.
Gotcha, and that's for
apolitical.
prime
She has
minister, right?
support herself.
Britain
Oh,
has
that's what it is.
Britain has a
Yes.
prime
Yeah,
minister.
okay.
But anyway,
Brexit.
I don't know if you know, but that
Churchill.
story was actually not true. So I have no idea what the question.
Wait,
what the
wait.
Oh,
answer
I think
Wait,
you really
for
had
real?
everyone convinced.
is. I know.
I
you
wasn't.
Okay.
Because
For the
I did it
record.
right. I put my right leg over my left leg.
Okay, so what are
Wait,
you guys
oh,
doing?
that's what you
Right
said,
leg
wasn't it?
crossed over the left at the knee, legs together with ankles crossed, or your legs are slightly open and uncrossed, or you're naked.
You're naked and
Man,
spread.
I'm gonna
spreading.
go with the ankle
Yeah.
cross.
I
because
like
this
it.
is
It's
an
so
extra
extra.
extra.
I mean, I
family.
get-
I'm
I
sticking
feel
with my
like-
answer.
Yeah.
So are we doing ankles crossed?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
If you
Boom,
guys want.
another
I
one
told
right.
you.
Correctamundo.
That's the
Your
it was a
legs
true
must
story.
be kept together.
Why do you have to
but
cross?
you're allowed to cross your ankles. There you go.
Is the ankle cross a
never kept
requirement?
Wow.
No,
Got it.
but you can't be spread out. They have to be closed.
Of course, there's
Yeah.
no man spreading in the palace.
No.
But you think they have such big tables? There's so much space between them that you.
Yeah, but you
could-
have to be proper too.
I know. I learned that. I told you. I just told you my story. It turned
Yeah,
out
but
to
then
be
you said
true.
it was a
no,
lie.
but it turned out it was right. So it's
Time
true.
for tea. How are you holding your cup? Okay, this is gonna take. It's gonna take a lot of picturing. Ready?
Pinkies up. It's tea time.
Okay. Okay.
Sorry.
Now you got to picture this.
Mhm.
Holding the handle with the thumb and index finger.
Okay.
While everyone do it with your water bottle.
Okay.
Holding the handle with the thumb and index finger while supporting the bottom with the middle finger. Okay, are you picturing it?
My hands are too small.
Or
Okay.
looping the index finger through the
Wait.
handle.
Wait.
and-
Wait.
Wait, that was it.
Wait.
Wait, stop that. Guys, stop. Please make it stop. Okay, enough. We're on to the next one.
Trigger
looping,
warning.
looping the index finger through the handle and supporting the rest of the cup with the middle ring and pinky finger. Holding the handle
too
Wait, so the
informal.
thumb is just
That's
Yeah.
so informal.
holding the
Spirit.
handle with the thumb and index finger with your pinky extended up.
obviously
Oh.
pinky.
Pinky.
I mean,
Oh.
that's what we've learned
Um,
throughout our years.
The way I do it is I grip it with my meaty claws.
Oh, two hands on that bad
Noah,
boy?
I have
Yeah.
meatier claws than you, though.
Yeah, you do. You got bear claws, boy.
Bear claws are so good.
I
Anyways.
think the best way to
Oh,
answer
that's
this question is
So-
with another story.
Oh yeah.
So we're sitting at tea. I'm sitting as far away from the queen as possible with my legs together and my ankles crossed,
Grandma.
and I grab it with, the first way. We support it with the middle finger, and she slapped me again. She had
Did
her,
you drop the tea?
She had her royal butler. No, of course not. You never
Did you
drop
spill
At
the
this
tea?
point, his cheek was red.
It was yes. It was like
Oh, she slapped you
bleeding
on the cheek.
on the cheek. Well, she has her butler because she's so far away you
and
know?
old.
Yeah. And she says, "In England, you always put your pinky."
So if she's your grandma,
Why did you have like a
is this your
Cockney
first
accent?
time in England? And if so, who are your parents?
I was adopted by
So?
by the
And then
royal
they-
dog.
So why don't you live in England?
Yeah, it's not that formal.
Wait, your dad is a dog or your mom is a dog?
well, it's more like my adopted.
Oh, you only have one parent, and
Yes.
it's a dog.
It is the royal Bow Wow. And I'm telling you, it's pinky up.
Okay, how
Head
are
down,
you holding
pinky
your
up.
cup?
That's the way I hold my cup.
I'm gripping it with two hands.
Okay,
my
yeah,
big
thank
It
you.
is
claws.
pinkies.
It's
it
pink-
has to be
it's
the pinky.
pinky.
Pinkies up.
It has to be.
All right, let's
I
see.
pinkies up, yeah. Of course that's wrong. Are you kidding?
Holding the handle with the thumb and index while supporting the bottom with the middle finger.
Yeah, they're just trying to throw us off with that one.
Ooh.
Royals.
Mom.
Okay, let me give you some information. Royals hold their cup in a delicate fashion by holding handle with thumb and index finger, supporting middle finger. Only drink from the same spot on the cup to avoid lipstick lining the entire rim. If there's lipstick on the rim, it's it's
Execution?
disrespectful. It's
Oh.
disrespectful.
I have a question.
Dude.
If I'm a member, like let's say I'm actually like the queen is my grandmother.
Yeah,
you
like
know,
are they going to enforce it? Is
Right,
that
like
what
she
you're gonna
watched
ask?
me grow
But-
up. Like
yeah.
we put, like
I think it's more like when the cameras are out. I always wonder that, like when they're just like in the living room or the lit.
We'll ask Will.
Of the palace?
Probably.
Yeah, Will, when you guys
Yeah,
are like
Will.
playing Monopoly or something.
I've only
Yeah.
ever been there with the cameras because I'm more of like for publicity.
Okay.
It's probably like
So.
just etiquette in meetings and stuff too. Like I would imagine when they're just being a family, it's less.
I always wonder. Anyways, okay. Food is here.
Yum.
How are you holding your silverware? All right, ready?
Oh,
In
Picture
my
this. You
hand.
gotta picture this
I
one
do
I
again.
know
thought you
this
were
one.
saying there was food here. and I
No,
was like,
no, no,
what?
no, no. We don't feed you
Oh,
guys.
Okay.
Fork in the right hand and
Mhm.
knife in the left hand.
That's how I do it, even though I'm a righty. Keep
Wow.
in mind.
Okay, fork in the left hand and knife in the right hand. I guess this really depends on if you're right-handed or left-handed, or maybe it's just
Yeah.
universal.
No, it's royal.
Fork in the right hand, and the knife stays on the table
Oh.
unless cutting
Whoa.
something.
Oh, it's that because that's
Oh.
different.
Is that
the other
it?
ones are like normal things for a right and
Yeah.
left-handed
That's-
person.
there's only
that
3
one
options.
sucks.
Yes,
Probably
yes.
scared you'll
that
attack
knife
someone.
I think it's the
definitely-
first one. I think
one.
it's fork in the right hand, knife in the
Because
left.
they think you're gonna stab the queen.
Yeah.
No, the
So,
royal
I'm
family's not going to
sure.
kill its own blood.
Yeah,
no, but it's
because I wanna
anyone
do it.
going to dinner with them.
Yeah.
Dude, it's the royal family. It might happen.
Yeah,
It's
you never
happened in the
know.
past.
You
Yeah.
never know.
Oh, yeah, have you guys seen Legion?
Have you guys seen
Nope.
Game of Thrones?
Oh.
No.
Oh.
Sorry. Okay.
It's gotta be the knife on the table.
Okay. Got enough.
Bum,
Okay.
bum, bum,
da, 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 da,
Okay. Enough. Okay. Let's get back to the point. All right. So, what are we doing? What's the answer?
The third
first
one.
The first one.
Wait, what's?
What?
No, it's
Fork
the
in
one
the
with
right
the
and
weird
knife-
knife thing.
The knife
So knife on the table.
Yeah.
Are we
If
all in
Ben-
agreement
if Ben's
besides
right,
Ben? Are we
we're
all
never
Yeah.
gonna.
Okay. It's actually no one was right. It was
What?
fork in the left hand, knife in the right hand.
Why?
Why?
That is terrible.
Give us
That's
the
absolutely
explanation.
terrible.
I don't know.
I can't go to England.
So do you have to hold it the whole time you're eating?
Yeah.
Oh, you know what it is? Okay, so picture this. I should have known this. Your fork isn't. No, this is for real because I've seen people like who've gone to cotillion. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
You put your fork down and you cut. Let's say you're cutting a piece of meat or whatever. You cut it and you take the knife and you put it on top of the fork, but like the fork is pointed down, so like it's not like the fork is in a scoopy manner, but it's in a down.
Oh,
manner.
like how Gordon Ramsay eats food.
Kind of. You put it on
Oh,
top
that's
and you
very
eat it like.
proper.
Oh, yeah.
That's, very
That's
really
what it is.
proper.
And even salad, you put the
Shoot.
you never use the fork as a shovel. You use it. You use the
Shoot.
back of the fork.
All right. Well, I think our hope is lost. However, we have a few more questions.
Well, we could overthrow the monarchy.
That's true. You suddenly find yourself needing to use the restroom,
No.
Oh.
as you probably would.
Hold it in.
How do you
royal
leave
poo.
the
Right answer.
how do you leave the table? There's no chance you're holding it in.
Oh.
Okay.
What if you just
that's a
quiet-
preface.
What if you quietly
we-
pee at the table?
I was gonna
Yeah.
no,
suggest
that's
that,
also
yeah.
not an option.
Keep
Okay.
it under wraps.
If
Leave
Bow
those to
Wow's
Noah.
allowed
If
to.
you have an empty water bottle, you could.
Yeah.
Why would you have like a plastic water bottle in the
I mean,
If you
we
have,
have
an
them
empty
here. This is
royal
proper.
piece of china, you could.
Anyways,
Yeah.
so do you ask for
Sorry.
the queen's permission to leave the table?
No.
You simply say, "Excuse me," and leave. Stand up and announce you must relieve yourself.
Oh,
Mm.
that's.
See, I've always been uncomfortable with the term "relieve yourself."
Yeah, it
Because it sounds like
like-
something entirely different.
It's
I
because
don't know. It
it's-
just doesn't sound like peeing. It sounds like
okay.
like
Gotcha.
too much enjoyment out of
Yeah.
it.
As an American,
Relief.
as an
'Cause relief.
American, what do you? No, I'm just pointing to you. As an American, it is in your DNA to hate anything that sounds British, which is why you don't like it when they say you have to relieve.
Benedict Cumberbatch.
Cockney, I got to relieve myself.
Okay, so what do we think
you
it is?
Cockney
Are you
now?
saying? Do you have to?
Blinders.
You get up and you say relieve yourself, or you're like Queen?
I'm going with.
May I go to the
relieve.
bathroom?
The
or do you,
queen,
ju-
the
okay.
queen
or do
has
you
better
just say
things
excuse me?
I think you're about to say this. I think
Yeah.
the queen has better things to do than
than
like
worry
be
about who's
bothered.
leaving the table
Yeah.
to relieve themselves.
Mhm.
Yes,
it's
but it
not-
is so rude if you were to just if I'm the queen and
That's
Augie
true.
just gets up and leaves. I'm like,
Mhm.
I mean, yeah, it's not really
Does
about
Augie
the
hate
utility
me?
of it. Like, she may have better
Yes.
things to
Does
do, but
Augie
it's just like a
hate
symbol
me?
of
That's
like
true.
respect. Like,
Yeah, I think I'll go with queen's permission.
yeah.
Yeah.
So we're,
Wait, is
wait,
it
I thought you
Queen's
just
Commission?
said.
I
I
we're
know,
not
but
getting-
but Dylan.
What? Wait, what did
yeah.
Dylan say?
I said,
Wow.
Sorry, Ben was like in his
Being
falsetto.
Ben.
I was just saying, I feel like it's less of a utility thing. Like, she may not, the queen probably does have much better things to do, but it's more about the respect, like showing that she's in charge. So you're saying, like, you
yeah,
ask,
especially
you ask,
when like
and
you
she's
don't have
gonna say
actually,
yes, but
especially when you don't actually have real like strong political power. Like
Yeah.
you find your
Yeah.
power where you can find it.
Okay.
and-
like you
and
ask
it-
your teachers to go to the
that's the
bathroom, but
bathroom.
So we're
There-
saying.
do you say it just to the queen or do you announce it to the whole table?
I don't know. Like, what if
I've,
the queen is in the middle of a conversation, like, and you
Right.
interrupt her to tell you?
I mean,
You
you
wait
would
till the
wait
end.
in that
Yeah.
case if that's the one we're going for. So are we
Yeah.
going for that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ask for the queen. Okay. It's wrong.
Oh, I feel
Wow.
personally
Is it
Is
responsible.
it announced that you need to relieve?
No,
this?
you just say excuse me and you leave.
Oh hell yeah!
It's pretty
okay.
casual.
Yeah.
Damn.
I feel like I would do that at
That's
at
more
just like a
casual than
regular
literal like high school
dinner.
classes are more proper than that. You have to be like,
Yeah.
may I go to the restroom?
Yeah, that's so
You're not
true.
allowed to
Yeah, that's
ask-
probably
I-
why America is so ahead in education. You know.
You should have. You should have known because if you ask the queen, you'd be like, Madam Queen, can I go to the bathroom? She'd be like, I don't know. Can you?
Is it Madam Queen?
I think it would be Your Majesty.
No one, she's your gram.
So fun fact: if while you're in the bathroom, if you want to make sure the waiter doesn't take your plate while you're gone, you cross your utensils over your plate.
It's like at soup plantation when you leave the little card that says, I'll be right back. Not the I'll see you next time, but time like the.
What?
I know what he's talking about.
I've been to soup plantation.
I love soup
like
plantation.
once.
I don't know. I went there expecting good soup, and really, the soup was the worst part of my meal.
Really,
so.
just the pizza's
Aw.
delicious.
Guys, yeah, we're definitely not going to be part of the royal family. However, we have like
I
two more
am.
questions. So here we go.
You guys may not be. but-
High
Oh.
tea is over.
What
that was
time
fun.
is it? Who knows?
And the queen suggests playing a board game. What game
Monopoly.
should you never recommend playing?
Charades.
No, Monopoly.
overthrowing
Dude,
guys.
the
Monopoly.
British Empire.
Jenga,
Oh.
It's the toppling. of
bridge,
Oh, I feel like that has symbolism.
or
You can-
Monopoly?
Oh.
Well,
Oh,
Monopoly's
Monop-
very American.
yeah.
Like in its, that's,
but also-
that's our government. Like,
Jenga represents the toppling
no.
of the hierarchy.
yeah, I feel like it's either Monopoly. What was the middle option?
Bridge.
Bridge.
Because
Isn't
the
Bridge an
London
American
Bridge.
game?
I don't even know bridge.
Like
I don't know Bridge.
Wait, did the London Bridge ever fall down, or is that just a song?
I know, I was thinking that too, yeah.
Is that? Is,
Oh,
Oh,
Anyone
maybe
know
Bridge
any
because
history
is that a
buffs?
non-fiction song?
I-
I'm guessing
I
it's
feel like
Monopoly.
it's Jenga.
any like reason why?
Like kind of what Will
'Cause
was
it
saying.
stresses her
It's
out.
symbolic of something that they are very against.
All right, so what do you think?
I was gonna say, isn't America most known for like toppling towers?
exactly.
Yeah.
That's why you
Yeah.
never. Oh,
No, that wasn't
my-
like a 9/11
Uh-oh.
joke.
Uh-oh.
That was serious. Like
But I'm not thinking towers. I'm just thinking about toppling like a hierarchy.
Okay, so what?
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
like
I think
the
that's
queen
reading too
falling
much
out of
into the
power.
board
Yeah,
game.
yeah, we
Jenga.
Or
definitely
or
I think
are we just being stupid and Monopoly is an American game? Why would you ever
Capitalism.
suggest?
I'm going
No,
with
but
Monopoly.
like
Yeah.
England and America aren't on bad terms.
Is
No, I know,
Jenga
but
not
you
an
don't.
American
You don't
game?
want to play someone else's. No, but Monopoly's like capitalism. Like that
Right.
game is based off our government.
And we literally gave the Queen's like great grandpa the middle finger
Yeah,
You know?
Monopoly could seem like a very
Wait, when? Wait, what?
the
during the
guy,
Revolution.
yeah.
Oh, right.
King
right.
George the Third.
Yeah, but I think we're on good terms now.
That's what you
I
think.
think.
No, they're gonna take us back. They've just been waiting.
After
They're
1812.
biding their times.
All right.
Yeah.
So Monopoly, are we
I
all
guess.
agreed? All right, we got one.
Hell
Okay.
yeah.
What's
Yeah.
the explanation?
Okay, so Prince Andrew was once gifted the classic board game and responded by saying, "We're not allowed to play Monopoly at home. It gets too vicious." So it actually,
Wait.
It's so
I
much.
don't think it has to.
We
I
So
think
read
it has,
into it
we
so
read
much.
way too deeply
Yeah.
into
It's
it.
not a-
I mean,
It's just because it's a
might,
stressful
that might
game.
just be an excuse, and it might be because
Yeah, that seems like it's like
it is
those-
capitalistic
yeah.
and stuff like that.
I mean,
But
not
that's
like
funny.
England is communist, but I mean,
All right, so this is our final question. We've done, I think we got like 3, maybe, actually just 2. We've got like 2 out of 6 or something.
no, we've gotten 3, right?
Okay. So this is our last question. How about if we get this one right, we can be a part of the royal family?
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Well, you've had a lovely evening with the queen. Do you guys think this
Debatable.
was a lovely evening?
It was okay.
Graham only smacked me once.
I mean, Will does love Monopoly, so.
Oh, I
don't
know. It's been a bad night.
But in order to leave, you have to walk down a flight of stairs.
Oh.
Okay.
How do you do it?
Oh,
I
Okay,
run.
ready,
One
ready,
foot
ready?
in front of the other.
I skipped
Okay,
10
let
stairs
let
at
them
a time.
figure
Can
it
out
out.
a
can I give a
window.
guess? Can I
Well,
give a
well-
guess?
Okay, yeah.
My guess is is it something about you always, if you're a guy, you always walk in front of the queen so that if she were to fall down the stairs, you catch her and it goes the other way if the queen's walking up
This
the
doesn't have
stairs.
anything to do with the queen. The queen's not walking down the stairs with you. You're walking down the stairs right now. Okay, ready? So let's just say it's just you on the stairs.
Okay.
Grip the banister and look down to make sure you don't trip.
Why is it so extra?
It's like a fan fiction.
But just wait, walking down the stairs normally, because it's etiquette. It matters to
Why?
these
Choose
people.
your own adventure.
Walking down the stairs normally with your feet pointed towards the middle of the staircase.
Oh my
So
god.
just your feet pointed
That is
forwards.
terrible. What on earth?
Or keep your chin parallel to the
Oh
ground and,
my
and
God.
glide your hand down the banister as you walk.
I feel like that's it
We're
because
putting
that's so
three.
extra.
Lock
my
in
God.
answer 3. Lock in
Are we
answer
good with
yes.
answer 3? Okay,
Yes.
I
okay.
feel like I'm playing like
That's right.
That's correct.
You have to keep your
Excellent.
chin parallel to the ground and just glide your hand. You're not allowed to grab the banister.
Do not grip the
Just-
banister, glide it.
so. Let yourself fall. If you
All right,
start
so
falling.
Here's my
um,
question.
Okay, so yes.
Okay, so you become a new member of the family. Do you like learn all these things? Like,
Yeah,
what's her
I
name?
mean,
Megan.
But she's known for a while, so they've probably been teaching her.
I know, but like, do you think she walks down the stairs one time and the butler is like, "Oh no, 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 this just won't do."
Yeah, I mean, they probably are just like, oh, no, you're supposed to do this.
And she drinks her tea and puts her pinky in the air, and the queen's like, "Oh."
So we got 4 out of 9 right. It says you're definitely
Yeah.
not royalty.
But we are.
Who are they to judge, you know?
Yeah.
So this is a BuzzFeed quiz. If anyone wants to like take it, I'm just citing my sources.
That's nice.
Nice.
I made this quiz.
Did you really?
Yeah.
You work at BuzzFeed?
No, BuzzFeed took
Works
it from
at
me.
you.
Oh.
So
It's been a great talk.
yeah, I mean it has been.
It has been.
This
It
has
has
been
been.
really nice.
Certainly.
Thank
I
you all
enjoyed
for
the
tuning
breakfast.
in. It's been great. If you want to suggest some stuff in the comments or ask some questions, I'm sure we'd be more than happy to answer some stuff in the next coming up podcast. Make sure to give us a nice 5-star review on iTunes. That helps get it up the what do you say that charts, stuff like
Yeah.
that. Give it a
Top
like.
charts.
Whatever you're watching on, just show some love. Thank you for watching. We will be back. We will be back next week once we decide what day these things are going to release on, which we will decide soon. Thank you all for tuning in, and we are signing out. So thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye.